Hello everyone, do you have one of these things stuck in your basement somewhere that you've never solved and it's driving you crazy? This is a Binary Arts top spin puzzle. They're available online for about 10 bucks, or in the description below there will be a link to a website that has one you can play online for free. Anyways, this was given to me last week by a couple of friends of mine. They set me off with the task of solving this thing because they know I like to solve puzzles, and I'm a Rubik's Cube fan. And I figured this out finally last night. Basically, it is a track that has a bunch of numbers on it, 1 through 20, and the idea is to get all the numbers in a row by spinning 4 numbers, changing the orientation of 4 numbers at any given time. And you might find this pretty simple to get to the last little bit and then have 2 numbers out of place, like have the 19 or the 20 or the 17 and the 18 somewhere. And the only way to solve it is to bring in other numbers. Let's say you have a 1 and a 2 here. How do you get this 20 solved without bringing the 1 and 2? Then that screws up the 1 and the 2. And you sit there, go back and forth until you just finally give up in frustration. So this is my tutorial, and it's going to start right now. Alright, let's get started. Let me start off by saying that this is probably not the fastest way of solving this puzzle, but it is the easiest way to remember how to solve this puzzle. It requires very little knowledge to solve it. Most people can solve the numbers 1 through 16 just with their intuition, but once you get past the number 16, it becomes very difficult. And at that point, you just need to understand 1 or 2 algorithms in order to understand it. There's 2 algorithms, and an algorithm is just a fancy way of saying that it's a series of moves, and they're very easy to remember. One is exact opposite of the other one, so that makes it really simple. And also, for the sake of making this a little bit easier, I'm going to say that numbers increase as I go to the right. You can make it so that numbers increase as you go to the left, but I've never seen a number line that increases as you go to the left, so that's why I picked going to the right. So I've already done 1 through 8 for you. There are 4 possible ways of moving a piece relative to another piece. Let's say I got the 8 solved already. I want to find the number 9. And obviously I started out with the number 1. That just makes it simple. So there are 4 ways of moving this piece relative to the number 8. I can make it 4 closer, as in here, because the 8's way over to the left here. I can make it 4 closer to the 8, like this. Or alternatively, I can make it 4 farther away from the 8, like that. Or if I move it to this position here, to the second to the left, I make it 1 further away from the number 8. Or alternatively, I can make it 1 closer to the number 8 by putting it in this position, this number 9 right here. Just like that. So I can make it 4 away, 4 closer, 1 closer, or 1 further away. So I'm going to bring this here. I got the number 8 way off to the left here. I'm going to bring this number 9. I'm going to make it 4 closer right now. And as you see, that worked out just perfectly because I want this number to be 4 numbers away from the number 8. 4 positions away. Alright, so that when I flip it around, it's in the right spot. And this 10 just happened to be in the right place again. So there we go. There's number 10. And as I can see now, this is a little more difficult. I want it to be 4 numbers away from the number 10, and right now it is only 2. So I want it to be we're on the very right side of the flipper thing. So in order to move it 1 piece to the right, I have to put it in the second to left position, flip it once, put it back into that position, flip it again, and now we discover that it's 4 away from the number 10, just like that. And the number 12 will line up just like this. And the number 13, again, is 2 away, and I want it to be 4 away. So I want it to be where this 18 is. So I'm going to put it in the second left position, like this. So I'm going to put it back into that position again, flip it again, now it's 4 away. Like that. Alright, we had too many numbers that were just 2 away, so I'm going to make this a little more difficult. So now we're going to solve the number 14. And as we can see, the number 13 is right here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. We haven't subtracted any yet. So what I want to do, in order to subtract 1, We can either put it in the 4th position and subtract 4 like this, but that would make it 2 away, and that's more work than just doing it once and making it the right way. So I want to put it into the 3rd from the left position, or the 2nd from the right. And when I do this and I flip it, that subtracts 1. So that now it is 1, 2, 3, 4 away, and I can flip it just like that. And magically it has done it for me. 14, 15, 16, and you can always get, using this method, to the number 16. Alright? Now I'm going to explain an algorithm right now. An algorithm is just a series of moves to achieve a desired task on this number wheel. Just like on a Rubik's Cube, it's just a series of moves to move pieces around. Here's algorithm number 1. It is put the number you want to move in the left position of the wheel. That's step number 1. You want to flip it once. Then you want to move the whole number thing one piece to the left. And then flip it again. Now I want to move the numbers one piece to the right, just like this. Flip it again. And then one piece to the left. And then flip. And as you might notice, it moved where the number 1 was. It was right next to the 2 right here. It moved 1, 2, 3, 4 positions, but it did not mess up the 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the process. And that is very important when we want to try to solve numbers 16 through 20. Now here is the opposite of that algorithm. It is put the number on the right side to start with, the number 1. You move it, you put it on the right, you flip it, and instead of moving it 1 to the left, we're going to move it 1 to the right this time. 1 to the right, flip, 1 to the left, flip, 1 to the right, flip. And what that did is it put it back to the position. It moved it from in between the 5 and the 6, it moved it 1, 2, 3, 4 positions to the left. Alright, now I'm going to explain that again. I'm going to do the first algorithm again. Here's algorithm number 1. To move it to the right, we want to have it in the left. So we want to flip, move it 1 to the left, flip, move it 1 to the right, flip, move it 1 to the left, flip. That was algorithm number 1. Here's the second algorithm, the opposite of that algorithm. It has to be on the right in order for it to work. So we want to flip, move the numbers 1 to the right, flip, move the numbers 1 to the left, flip, move the numbers 1 to the right, flip, and that put that back. And I will have the description of the algorithms in the description. I'll have it written down in some sort of notation so that you can understand it. Alright, and now we're going to get started on solving pieces 16 through 20 using this process. Okay, now we're going to start on pieces 16 through 20. Alright, we got all the numbers solved up to 16, and we might notice that these last pieces are out of order, and it's very difficult without using an algorithm to move these pieces around in order for it to make sense. Again, without taking number 1 in there, because as soon as you get the number 1 in there, then it screws things up. Alright, so we have the numbers 20 through 19 here, and what we want to do now, before we do any algorithms, is try to make it so that we have the least amount of moving possible. So right now I see the 20's out of place, the 17 needs to be the left of the 18, and so on here. So I'm going to flip it around, and I can see that by doing that, I made it so that this 19 is just out of place. So if I were to move this 19 2 pieces to the right, the whole thing would be solved. And usually you'll find that. I've had it a couple times in the last 24 hours of trying to do this that I've had 2 numbers out of place, but usually it's only 1. You can always pretty much get it so there's only 1 piece out of place. So we see that this 19 is out of place, and then it has to go to the right. But you might be thinking, if I apply that algorithm, it might go 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces or 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces to the right, and we just put that 19 where in between the 1 and the 2, and that wouldn't help us out at all. But if I were to apply that algorithm to move it to the right 5 times, cycle through that 5 times, we will find that after 5 times, this 19 will now be to the right of the 17. And if I do that again, it will move this piece to the right of the 19, or of the 18, and then it would be solved. Or let's say you wanted to move this number 17 to the left of the 19. We would just do the opposite algorithm and do that 5 times, and that would move this piece to the left of the 17. So if I want to move a piece to the right, like what I do now, I want to do the algorithm where I start in the left. Alright, so I'm going to put it in the left piece, flip it, move it 1 to the left, flip, move it 1 to the right, flip, move it 1 to the left, flip. Okay, and now what I want to do, before I do it again, I want to put this 19 back where it was, to the left side, and do the algorithm again. Move, flip, 1 to the left, flip, move it 1 to the right, flip, move it 1 to the left, flip. Alright, now I'll put this 19 back again. I've done it twice now. Flip, 1 to the left, flip, move it 1 to the right, flip, move it 1 to the left, flip, and there we go. So, put it in the left, flip, 1 to the left, flip, 1 to the right, flip, 1 to the left, flip, and I'll do it again. 1 to the left, flip, 1 to the right, flip, 1 to the left, flip. And before, as you might remember, this 19 was on the other side of the 17, so we moved it over 1 piece. Now we have to do that 5 times again, and I'm not going to do that right now. I'll fast forward it, and then I'll show you the other algorithm, how to do that. Alright, I've repeated that algorithm 4 times now, and I'm about ready to do it the last time. So I'm going to put it on the left, flip, move it 1 to the left, flip, move it 1 to the right, flip, move it 1 to the left, and flip. And voila! It is all finished right now. All the numbers in a row. So I moved that piece 1, 2 using that one algorithm. Alright, and it wasn't that hard. You just got to do it 5 times. Now I'm going to show you the anti-algorithm. Okay, now I'm going to do it again. Alright, I see I have numbers 16 through 20 scrambled up, so I'm going to move this around. And now I notice that just the 18 or the 17 is out of place. Let's say I want to move this 17 1 to the left. Then I would do the other algorithm where I put it on the right, and I flip it, move it 1 to the right, flip, move it 1 to the left, flip, move it 1 to the right, flip. What that did is it moved it 4 to the right, and now I would put this back in the position to the right side, and I would do it again 4 more times, keep doing that until it would be solved in between the 16 and the 18. And that is how you will solve every single one of these. It might require you moving a whole bunch of pieces around a whole lot of times, but it would always get done. And I'm going to have, after this, I'm going to show little tips on how to do it a little bit faster, but not a whole lot faster. All right? Okay, apart from being solved, this is the most ideal position to have. You have all the numbers in a row except for the 19 and the 20. You either have to move this 19 to the left or this 20 to the right. And you only got to move it 1 slot. That's the ideal position for number 1, other than being solved right away. Okay, now I'm going to show you the next part. Alright, here's scenario number 2. You realize that you have to move this 20 2 pieces, 2 slots, and that would equal a total of doing that algorithm 10 times. There's no way of getting around this that I've found so far in the last 24 hours. All right, and then that would lead us to the next part, which would be 3 out of place, and I'm going to show you that now. All right, here's scenario number 3 here. We see that this number 20 is 1, 2, 3 pieces away from where we want it. And you might think to yourself, man, do I really have to do that algorithm 15 times to get this piece right here? No, you don't. Here's a shortcut. I'm going to do an algorithm right now. Just the first one, I'm going to flip it, move it to the left, flip it, move it to the right. And you notice now that this 20 now is only 1 position away from being in the right spot. So now we do the anti-algorithm 5 times to get it here. So essentially we did 6 algorithms rather than doing it 15 times. And that's tip number whatever it is now. All right, here's scenario number 4. Now we notice that this is 1, 2, 3, 4 positions away from being solved. This number 20 would have to move 4 spots. And you think, man, do I really have to do that 5 times 4? So you'd have to do that algorithm 20 times. No, you just do the one algorithm. You would move this, do the first algorithm, and voila, it's solved. Because that algorithm moves the piece jumps over 4 spots. So if you see that anytime, you can use that. Because otherwise, if you didn't think about it, you'd probably do it 20 times and then that would get you there. That is my tips for now. I'm sure I'll think of more, and if you think of some, put some up there. I know there are faster ways of solving the last 4 numbers. I just don't have the memory to do all that, and it's just not important enough for me to memorize all those algorithms in order to do it. So I'm going to do a practice sample solve now, and I'll explain myself along the way. And I guess it'll make the video very long, but I'll do it. Alright, now I've scrambled it up a little bit, and I'm going to do a solve here. I see I've got the number 1 and 2 already, so I'm going to bring this 3 over. And I see, there we go. Now it is 2 away from the number 2, so flip it once, move it over, flip it again. It's 4 away, flip, find the number 4. It's right here. Alright, now I see the number 5 there. I'm going to move this there. Now that made it 5 away, so I'm going to make this one closer. Number 6 is 3 away. I'm going to make it 1 more. 7 is 2 away. 7, 8, find the 9. I see it's 3 away, so I'm going to do that. 10, 11, 12. I'm going to just move that. I'm going to make it 1 closer, and that should make it. Oops. Yeah, that was right. Now I'm going to make this 12 further away because I said it was 3. 2 for the 13. And when I bring this around, I should bring the 14 with it. 15's there. 16 is 3 away, so I want to make it 1 more. Alright, now I think about it a little bit. I see the 17 and 18 are out of order. And here's one of those times where I got 2 numbers out of order. So let me think about this. I might scramble it up a little bit. And then solve 15 and 16 again, see what happens. It beats solving 2 numbers. Alright, that didn't help. help me out much. Still have two numbers out of order. Oh well. Well, I'll move this 18. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll move that one over to the, do this algorithm once. Now it moved that 18 between 15 and 16. Now if I do that algorithm once again, 5 times, it'll bring the 16 to the right side of the 16, or the 18 to the right side of the 16. All right, now that's there. I'm going to do that algorithm, move this to the other side of the 16 because it'll jump 4. All right, now everything's in order except for the 16 and 17. I can have either one of two choices. I can move the 16 to the left or move the 17 to the right. I'm going to opt for doing the 17 to the right. Sometimes I forget which way I went. I gotta think about it for a second. Eventually you turn this into your muscle memory, you don't have to think about it anymore. There we go, I did it 5 times, and now it is solved. It only took me 4:47 to do it. And it would take me less if I didn't try scrambling it, but that's a risk you take when you try to take shortcuts. Alright, and that concludes my tutorial, and I hope you like it. And if you want to post your own video on how you solved it, go right ahead and post a response to my video. And if no one ever sees this, oh well. Have a good one.